Live stream on my main YouTube channel is disabled due to a copyright strike. It should be available again on November 3rd, 2020. To view my live streams, see the description box for details on how to get to my other channels. My backup YouTube channel, DLive, and Twitch will still show my live streams. Does anyone ever ask what happened to the people who failed clinical human trials? Ebon Kim. Good evening, everyone. Okay, my mic seems to be working. I was gonna post this days ago, but oh well, I'm doing it now. So Johnson & Johnson, the ones who make the Johnson & Johnson baby powder, and I think they make baby food and shampoo. They've got a vaccine going, which is entering final trials. So there were like 800 or so humans that tried out for the previous trial. Now they're going to expand it to like 60,000. And this is the same Johnson & Johnson who paid out billions of dollars to people who died from cancer. Here goes New York Times. Woman with cancer awarded billions in baby powder suit. And an appellate court in Missouri upheld more than $2 billion in damages against Johnson & Johnson, saying the company knew there was asbestos in its powder. It's not like it was like an accident. They knew that there's asbestos in its baby powder. There's a couple of funny things, when people say, how could people who work at Johnson & Johnson not know that there's asbestos in baby powder? It's just like all the other conspiracy theories, right? Where people go, well, how could all these people not know that it was all a hoax? It's like, people just do their job. They don't know what's going in it. They don't run their tests, or their tests are whoever's running the show knowingly putting in asbestos. They know how to avoid being caught, until they do get caught. Now, like there's also a couple more stuff, like the decision slashed by more than half a record award, 4.69 billion compensatory and punitive damages to the woman, which was made in July 2018. So this is more. This article here is in June 23rd, 2020. So there's, it's been going on for a long time. The worst part is, and it's funny because it's so horrible. Johnson & Johnson still faces thousands of lawsuits from consumers who claim its talcum products were contaminated with asbestos that caused cancer. The company announced last month that it would stop selling baby powder made from talc in North America, though it would continue to market the product elsewhere in the world. Do you see how they worded that? Yeah, okay, we're gonna stop sending out the talcum powder that has asbestos in North America. But the rest of the world will still sell the baby powder that's laced with asbestos. It's just so horrible. That's funny because people would still buy it. And there's multiple failures here. One of the things, people seem to never ask a lot of questions, or they ask a lot of questions, they don't ask the right ones. So how did this pass? How did, like, the FDA or whoever regulates products for human use, like, how did it get past them? Do they not test for asbestos? What like, not how did this get found out? I mean, I guess everyone figured out, well, it looks like it was asbestos in the lungs. Well, how did this person get it? So it's horrible in that way. Um, Another thing that's horrible, Shirley Vicasco, she goes, "Oh no, Johnson Johnson, who gave people cancer through their powder." So I don't think Shirley's gonna want to take a vaccine from Johnson Johnson. Now, the crazy thing is, and that people aren't outraged about, is that it's baby powder. It's for babies. They're putting asbestos in it. So, who knows how it's going to affect the babies, or it probably has already affected babies. But, for the adults, they have cancer. It's, you know, so it's just horrible in many ways. Um, so are they going to put asbestos in vaccines? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's in vaccines already that you can look at. Some things that aren't even mentioned in the vaccine ingredients of the CDC. This is CDC, you can see here. This is CDC vaccine parents ingredients. What I find funny, and I've done videos on this before. I mean, if you ask anybody if any of these things are good for humans, being inside of humans, whether digested or injected, you would probably say no. And then you tell them that it's in vaccines, they'll be like, "Oh, well, I guess it's safe then," or "It's in low amounts, it's okay," or they always seem to make excuses. But if we took out the amount of the preservatives and just injected them with all the preservatives and adjuvants and all that stuff, without the actual vaccine, they would probably go, no, thank you. It's just like the guy who worked for Monsanto or something to go, here's some of the the Monsanto product. I forgot what its name was, and he goes, "No, are you stupid?" Surely that's great. She told her daughter not to put powder on her new grandbaby. Anyways, I thought the most funny thing about this part was when the CDC says they use this ingredient, like a certain type of ingredient, like the aerosol, which includes mercury. Is most common source found from eating foods such as certain kinds of fish. Mercury, which the aerosol contains, gets into the body. Yeah, just eating fish. That's common source of preservative. And then if you hear anyone who eats a lot of fish or who goes fishing and you look at mercury from fish, they go, yeah, you want to limit your consumption of fish. You could even there's dietary guidelines in almost every state that tells you the amount of fish that you should eat. Right? They're saying, you only eat a few times per month, eat a few times per week. You can eat as much of these types of things. Why? Because of mercury. Anyways, I just think it's funny because, they make it sound like, oh, this is just how common it is. Here's adjuvants, which is aluminum salts. Oh, it's anywhere from drinking water to infant formula to health products. Not to think that those aren't. It's not good for you to have a lot of aluminum. You can just read up on a whole bunch of it. You can look at NCBI, right? All of this stuff. It's all there. It's not healthy for you. They've done actual studies of how much affects people, what it does to them, what can happen if you have too much aluminum, and all this other jazz. And a lot of people know that you shouldn't have aluminum. Another thing that was horrible that I looked at is like, here's NBC News from like October 7th, 2019. It's like 95% of baby foods tested contain toxic chemicals, and the report says. So I read it, which is horrible. Only 9 of the 168 baby foods tested weren't found to contain arsenic, lead, cadmium, or mercury. I mean, that's all in the baby food. So so not only is all the stuff found, and that hasn't been reported in such a long time, like, who's testing all these products before it goes out to humans for consumption? Anyways, I don't want to go on. There's so much stuff. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are watching or listening to my stuff already know about all of this stuff. Shirley definitely knows. And getting to vaccines with clinical human trials, a lot of the early trials aren't done on humans because it's supposedly not safe. There's that, I guess, some fine line you get to. It's like, how many human trials have there been? You don't really get to know. What happens when you don't have like a 99% successful trial? What if you have like a 52% successful trial? 48% of the people, what happened to them? Are they okay? Are they gonna die? Not, it's not like some simple like flu vaccine or whatever, which seems to kill more people than COVID-19. But this COVID-19 is some super pandemic level, shut down the world's economy type of level event. So they're just gonna leave them to die. What are the long-term effects? If it was so safe for human testing on humans, they wouldn't even use animals. They figured it out. This is why you use so many animals to test all these vaccines when they could go through like 3-4 phases of human trials before it's safe to go out to people. And then they don't even have long-term tests or studies. You can even look up the Spanish flu. It's like, did anyone get sued for the vaccines and from what happened to the flu vaccines, Spanish flu vaccines? I already went through a whole video on that. If you want to, you should go and look it up. Shirley Vic, questions for childhood vaccines? Yes, you should. Everyone should. Anyways, this is kind of like basic level stuff. 101 level, really. But thank you for joining me. Thank you, Shirley. Hope everything is going well for you. There should be more videos that I'll be doing in the future. There's some planned. There's some I want to do a little bit more work on, but sometimes just things catch my eye and go, Johnson Johnson vaccine. I wonder how many people who have sued Johnson Johnson. How many of them are going to take the vaccine that they created? Anyways, yeah, that's tonight's video. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys another night.